how are you? I'm so excited to chat about the new show, but how are you both doing today?
Pretty good so
Good.
far, yeah.
Yeah, so far so good.
Good, perfect. Just a usual, Monday getting stuff done.
Yeah, I mean I'm not on Zoom doing press a lot on my Monday, so it is a bit of a standout day for me.
Well, we'll jump right in. I'm really excited to just discuss. I mean, some of the episodes have already come out. People are already, buzzing about the new show. But could I have you both introduce yourselves and then the characters or, the role that you have, I should say, in the show?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay. I'm Jessica McLeod and I play Janae in One of Us is Lying.
I am Darío Madrona. I am the showrunner in One of Us is Lying.
Okay, perfect. And then Dario, I'd love to start with you and just, this isn't your first time doing a teen murder mystery. So I wanted to know what drew you to this story specifically.
I think, I've done this kind of genre before, but I think tonally the shows are pretty different. But what I like about this particular show is that it's actually about people becoming friends. It's actually about four people who are thrown into this really crazy situation. They really mistrust each other. You think that all could have killed someone. And then through the process of being suspects of a murder, then they start like finding each other and becoming friends and finding new layers in each other. And that it's sort of a spin that I hadn't seen before done in this kind of murder mystery. And I think it's kind of more hopeful and less dark that a murder mystery normally is. So it feels very, very different to me. And it was very exciting to play with that.
And over to you, Jessica. I mean, I'd love to just talk about your character, and we've kind of been seeing how they've been developing over the episodes that have come out. But I mean, what was your first impression of the character, and then how do you feel about them now, just up until this point that we've all been seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I think on my first kind of read of it for my audition, I just thought she was really fun. I think that she's so outspoken. She's so unapologetically whatever emotion that she's having is absolutely evident to everyone, and she's not really pulling punches when it comes to she's never making herself small for anyone, which I thought was really cool, and I really like that about her. And I think as the season goes on, I mean, as Dario was kind of saying, like the show does something really interesting with the relationships and the way that everyone kind of comes together. And I think for Janae, she had a real specific idea about everyone else but Simon, everyone else besides her and Simon, and that like they were gonna be judgmental of her, they were gonna not accept her for who she is, like they all are doing things and behaving in ways that she doesn't agree with. And I think part of her high school journey is realizing that like nobody's really thinking about her, and not in a bad way, but just nobody's really considering like her in any way at all. And so when she kind of steps out of her own field of view, specifically with Addie in that bathroom scene, like she has an awareness of like, oh, these people aren't actively trying to hurt me specifically, like no one really cares, and neither should I. So then I think that brings up a lot of questions for her about who she has been choosing to spend time with, and why she's been so quick to judge people. And I think as the show goes on, she obviously makes connections with people that she didn't before, and sees people in a more three-dimensional way, which I think is really cool.
Absolutely. And I love just, of the humanity of seeing these characters. And, we realize they obviously all have their flaws, but we're still rooting for some of them and, trying to see where it's all going to go. But obviously it was based on a book before. So I wanted to ask, what was the pressure of getting it right and wanting, new viewers to see it, and just trying to like encompass that. So I'll start with you, Jessica, and just, taking on your character.
I think for me, kind of the gift of the show is that Janae wasn't a huge part of the book. So I think the way that they've expanded her in the writer's room, and then just all of the, the ways that she's dressed and the way she presents herself and all of that stuff was really cool to see unfold for me, because it's not really described or explored in the book. So I had a lot of freedom in terms of that. I didn't feel too much pressure because she's a side character. So I'm really excited by what the show has done for Janae.
And Darío, I wanted to just have you jump on that. I mean, about how, if you felt any pressure going into this.
I mean, you obviously want to like please people, and you want to please fans of the book, and you want to do right by them. But at the same time, every time you're adapting a piece of work, every time you're adapting something to the screen, you have to live with the fact that some people are always going to be disappointed because somebody doesn't look the way they thought they were going to look, because the story doesn't follow beat by beat the story that's in the book. So you make peace with the fact that some people are not going to like it, and you try to make it as good as you can for all the others. And hopefully we've done that.
And, now that we're seeing more episodes, we're kind of seeing that Janae, we're learning more about her crush on Maeve, and that developing in real time, from the flashbacks to now. So Jessica, can you talk, about creating this on-screen chemistry with Melissa, and, why Janae is drawn to Maeve?
It's such a great question. I think I'll just start with why she's drawn to Maeve. I think that Maeve as a character is a real standout for me in the show. She's so mature. She's so mature in terms of like, she sees things very clearly, and she also is really aware that like all of this is temporary. And I think that that's because of her cancer diagnosis, and Melissa, has done so much work with all of that. But I think Maeve is just, she's very not wrapped up in like high school. She's like, this is, a blip in my whole journey, and all of this is kind of silly. And I think that's really attractive to Janae, because I don't think that Janae has any she doesn't think that high school is going to be it for her, but she definitely takes things a lot more seriously, and she lets things hurt her a lot more. And I think Maeve is so cool to Janae. Maeve has her, her shit together. She's just like this force, and she's so driven. And I think that that's really cool and attractive in any person. And obviously Janae is going to be into that. And then I think in terms of creating the chemistry with Melissa, we had already had a lot of time in New Zealand together before we got to this part of shooting. So that was really helpful, because we had already, built like a really cool friendship. Like we get along great. Like we have a lot of overlapping tastes and all of that stuff. So we'd already spent so much time together, it just kind of felt very easy. We also had an intimacy coordinator, which was obviously very helpful and awesome. And I think every scene ever should have that. It was great. It just kind of felt natural. It just kind of felt like that it had all kind of been building to this, and we knew it was coming the whole time. So it was just like, and we were also really excited to actually have scenes together, because obviously we know the whole backstory the whole time, but the audience doesn't get to find out until that episode. So it was nice to like play through all of that and get to kind of explore that dynamic a little bit more. Yeah, it was really fun for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love their hallway scene. It was so sweet. And you got to see just both of their characters really are in that moment, I feel like.
Yeah.
And the show has been compared to like The Breakfast Club meets Murder. And I just wanted to know, Darío, like, do you agree with that statement?
Oh yeah, I mean, like the Breakfast Club is in the book itself. Like it's referenced in the book. It's a clear inspiration in the book. So that's one reference that we definitely decided to embrace. And there's like a little bit like like Easter eggs in a few episodes referenced in the Breakfast Club. Absolutely, we're completely fine with that because it's in the DNA of the story itself. And when you have five people in detention, like which is the basis for this story, you're definitely referencing the Breakfast Club. And it's also like the Breakfast Club. It's a story about five people who you think and then through the story you realize that much more than meets the eye with them, and that's also the story of the show as well. So.
Yeah. And I love just like the aspect of the Breakfast Club of meeting, different people. And I love that this one kind of takes it further and we get to see, more of like diversity in the LGBTQ community coming in more into that with Janae and with learning more about Cooper's role as well. So yeah, I agree. I think it's just kind of like a more advanced version. So what can the audience take away from meeting this group of high school teens?
I hope to take away the fact that when you meet someone for the first time, or even people that you live with every day, in high school, at work or whatever, you think you know them, you think you know who these people are, you think in terms of stereotypes. But once you get through, when you get accused of murder and you're kind of forced to coexist with them, actually get to know them a little bit better, then you realize there's much more to them than you thought there was. And I think it's so important nowadays also because people know each other through like social media and Instagram and all of that. And you think you know that person that you see in those pictures or in those tweets. But there's definitely so much more than meets the eye. And I hope people feel like even if they judge someone just based on what they know of them, hopefully they get to know them a little bit better. They make the effort to know them a little bit better. They find out that there's a surprising person that they can even become friends with.
I was just gonna jump off of that and kind of say, I think also a big part of the show is like the idea that nobody's thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. Like we all think that we're the worst person. Like all the mistakes that we've made are like way worse than the mistakes that everyone else has made, and it's like no, everybody does a lot of things that are not great, and we also do things that are really great. And in the grand scheme of things, nobody is like thinking about you, and we're all thinking about our own little worlds. So I think that that's a cool takeaway from the show as well.
Absolutely. And just the last question I wanted to ask, we're going into the final episodes this week. Do you have any advice for the audience on how they should prepare to see this finale unfold?
Grab some popcorn. No, I think hopefully they should get ready to be a little bit surprised. And hopefully it's a nice surprise too.
Yeah, I think people just don't know. They don't know what's coming. And I think that also probably a lot of the questions that we've been building up this whole season, many of them will be answered. So I think that that's really a nice thing to look forward to, is that it's going to be really satisfying. Yeah.
Mm.
Perfect. Well, I'm so excited to see the new episodes come out later this week. And thank you both for chatting with me today. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thanks so much.
Like this video? Follow us for more.